Pastor Faison, I want to thank you, man, for getting on, bro. I want to just go right into it, man. What's your response, man? What's your to the verdict tonight, bro?
I'm trying not to curse, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. The fact that a kid was murdered, a kid was killed, and there's no question about that. That's not debatable. The facts are known.
Yeah.
George Zimmerman had a weapon and was told not to pursue. These were the instructions given to him by the dispatcher.
Yeah.
And in that case, representing law enforcement, pretty much. Do not pursue. He takes it in his own hands. We don't know what happened in the encounter between the two individuals. There are only two witnesses to it.
Mm-hmm.
But we do know one is alive, one is dead. And the one alive was the one who was told not to pursue, and also the one who had the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
There is doesn't take a whole lot of imagination.
Yeah.
Figure out what happened. Not even manslaughter.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing. Just not guilty of second-degree murder. Not guilty on all accounts.
Listen, what does this say? What does this say about equality and the value? See a lot of stuff on Twitter now talking about the value of a black man's life.
Oh man, this is akin to open season.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, it's a declaration that it doesn't matter, and it's not a declaration we ever heard before. From Emmett Till to Trayvon Martin,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Amadou Diallo, Sean Bell.
Yeah.
This is not new. This is a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Of sadness and tragedy that the black community has to see over and over and over again. And I just hope we don't get lulled back into inactivity.
Mm-hmm.
Response to this kind of stuff is bigger than Hoodie Sunday. It's bigger than Skittles and Arizona iced tea.
Yeah.
Man, the power is in our economics and in our politics. We got to vote. We got to put people in office who are concerned about our welfare in our community.
Yeah.
We got to be the voice of our communities. We got to. We can't wait for tragic moments, flash pan moments to occur where our voices get heard. Our voices need to be heard consistently.
Yeah.
So that not just in trial and tragic moments, but every election, every public official, district attorneys, mayors, councilmen, you name it, they should know that they have to answer and respond to the black community when they choose or make a decision to represent us.
Yeah.
They don't hear from us until tragedy, man.
Yeah.
Until the election. That's the only time we're heard. And so closed mouths don't get fed.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple. It's easy. I mean, we know the racial undertones are here.
Mm-hmm.
They're undeniable. But at the same time, that's been the case for a while. So why do we sit and not use our voice?
Yeah.
I just understand that, man. It's sad. Sad. It's tragic.
Let me ask you. No, go ahead.
I'm not guilty, but let's not forget all of the international and even worldwide pressure and press that went into George Zimmerman even being arrested and charged. I mean, people had to raise hell to even get him in the courtroom.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this is sickening.
It is being a black man and being a father. to a son who is a black son, how will you explain this to him when he asks you what happened?
Man, got 3 kids, man. 2 sons and a daughter. This, this is, we've already had the conversation, man. And it's, they asked me, how could this happen? And I had to explain to them, this is the world we live in. My oldest son's 14. He'll be driving in 2 years. I remember the conversation my dad had with, I'm one of 5. Remember the conversation my dad had with us. If you get pulled over and your license or your registration is in the glove box, tell the officer, I'm reaching in the glove box to get my registration, because they will not ask you what you're doing. You will be shot first. I remember that conversation, and now I gotta have that conversation, not just about driving, but about walking down the street.
Yeah.
No weapons, nothing. Man, it's a sad day, man. I'm one of the most optimistic brothers you'll ever meet. You know, I believe God is faithful. I believe God is sovereign.
Yeah.
And you can't separate God from his anger either.
Yeah.
Just like he's a God of grace and he's a God of mercy. And he's a God of wrath, and he's not pleased.
That anger, that emotion you feel, a lot of people are taking to Twitter and saying all kinds of things. How should the church, how should the black community respond after this?
It's got to become more than a rally point, you know, more than a time where we scream loud. It's got to be a time where we galvanize ourselves economically and politically. I mean, that's who gets heard. It's the world we live in, man, and it's one thing to be poor, you know. Without economic viability, man, you don't have a voice. But it's another thing to be poor and black.
Yeah.
You know, that's a whole exponentially dangerous combination. And so we have to put our voice in the arena and stay there and advocate and demand legal changes, demand economic changes, demand that our voices be heard and that we be represented. You know, that we don't throw our black institutions away.
Yeah.
See, until tonight, there are some people who argue that the NAACP is unnecessary. There are people who argue that what Reverend Jesse Jackson does with Rainbow Push is unnecessary. There are people who argue that what Reverend Al Sharpton does with National Action Network is unnecessary. They call them ambulance chasers and trying to be in the news and trying to be in the media. Well, man, if they weren't in the media, who would be?
Exactly.
I mean, if these organizations don't do what they do, advocacy and fighting inequities, man, who's gonna do it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we've been convinced and lulled to sleep, thinking everything is fine, man. You know, because we can, because we, because we got some athletes who are millionaires, and we can, you know, and Jay-Z can come out with, you know, Magna Carta, Holy Grail, and lock down a finals commercial.
Yeah.
And like we've arrived, man. That didn't help Trayvon. That didn't help Sean Bell. That didn't help Amadou Diallo. Somebody's got to speak for the voiceless.
Yeah.
And doggone it, if there are people who are willing to speak for the voiceless, why take the microphone from them? Man, these organizations that are still viable, still doing the work, and they're often spoken against by the folk they represent. We got to do better, man.
Yeah. I agree. Listen, Pastor Faison, bro, I know it's almost midnight. I know you got to find the strength to stand tall tomorrow as you preach the Grove tomorrow in Tennessee, brother. But thank you, man. Thank you for joining with me to express what so many people are feeling on tonight.
Man, it's always an honor, man. I respect and appreciate what you do. But we'll get through this, man. We're resilient people.
Yeah.
God is faithful. Even though I feel like cussing tomorrow, I'm gonna preach.
Yeah.
And I probably won't sleep a lot tonight, but
yeah.
But we're gonna share what the Lord says, and that's God always has something to share for His people, man. So, if I saw on Twitter somebody said I think it was my man Tejado Hancho from Winston Salem said if Trayvon Martin's parents can go to church tomorrow, what's your excuse?
Yeah. That's it. That says it all right there.
Yeah, so
that says it all, bro. Thank you, bro.
Find a house of worship and get some hope. You know.
Yeah, Pastor, bro. Thank you, man. Stand tall tomorrow, bro.
Man. Thank you.
All right.
Hang in there, dude.
All right. God bless.